Hey, players! Welcome to Political Tea Talk. We're so excited to be with you all today. Of course, you know we have a good show jam packed with some very good guests. So excited to have both of them here with me to share, to sip some tea, and have a good time. Um, we've had a lot going on this week. A lot going on this week with COVID, mask mandates, the Olympics. We've had the January 6th Select Committee. We've had a whole lot going on, not only in politics, but in the world. We had the bull crap that went on with the baby and all of them, but we won't be getting into that because I don't know much about that. I just talked shit about Bootsy and I was done. So so we had a whole lot going on in the world today, I'm telling you. And so we want to get in here and talk about it, and let's just have a good old funky time. Now, over here we have our special guest. So excited to have them. Been waiting to get Mr. Pookie on. So excited that he came to share with us today. I've been trying to get him for a while, and we've been missing each other with all this TikTok bans and all this bull crap. If you guys are not following Pookie, you need to follow him. He has some very good, informative content, also very funny content, and the way he introduces himself, it's amazing, and he has to do it for us here today. But I want to show you guys, if you're not following Pookie Bear 73 on TikTok, I want to show you guys a TikTok that I like that he just did recently that will definitely make you go and follow him if you are not following him already. So let's just check it out.
What's something that we accept as a society, but is really strange?
Chapstick. I'm going to tell you right here, right now, I ain't never made it to the end of a chapstick. I get a chapstick, I lose it, I buy another chapstick. I ain't never in my life made it to the end of a chapstick. What about you? You probably have.
Yeah.
You made it to the end of a chapstick? That's some shit. What about you? You made it to the end of a chapstick? Never, right? Chapstick.
I've never made it to the end of a chapstick either. The doggone burnt bees, it seems to always need to be found. I never can find it. The Carmex, it's a serial killer. And I tell you one thing about a Carmex, you can put that through the washing machine like 5 or 6 times, and it'll still stay intact. It really will. So that was a funny TikTok to me. Again, if you guys aren't following Pookie, please make sure you do. Pookie, what's up? Player.
God damn it, it's the shooter. Hey. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I really am humbled and honored to be here. It is my pleasure. I've always enjoyed your take on the political side. Whenever I hear, hey players, I just have to stop and listen because you're always informative, well read, well versed, and everything is always fresh and new. I look forward to you having your own news show outside of TikTok one day. I really look forward to that because I believe you have the personality for it. So
thank you. Well, what brought you to TikTok, Pookie? What made you get on there?
Well, it's an interesting story. You know, I got on TikTok because my daughter introduced me to TikTok. And I just got on here as a means of finding a release because I own 2 businesses and I've got a lot of pressure in my actual life. So TikTok is my way of disconnecting with reality. So when I first got on here, if you scroll way back to the beginning of my old videos, you'll see I was just doing a lot of funny skits and, just dancing to music and stuff, just something to blow off steam. And then when the riots and the civil unrest happened and George Floyd, that situation happened, then I started getting real political on here. And that's kind of when my channel took off because I started voicing my views on politics and social justice and things like that. And so now I try to mix the two together because I don't want to be so serious that I get back into why I got into TikTok was to release pressure. So I don't want to be to the point where I'm always on here arguing and fighting. And now pressure is here on my release now. So that's how I got in it. And that's what I try to move in and out of the comedy and the social justice, because at the end of the day, this app is all about my mental health and my ability to laugh at what's going on around me so I can feel better.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Now I have one question for you before we move on. Did you ever confront that Amazon driver for walking on the grass? Everybody wants to know.
You're damn right I did. We've had 4 Amazon deliveries since that dude, and I saw him come up, and I poked my head out, and I said, "Hey man, listen, you stay your hands off my grass. Can we cuss on here? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, Dad.
Your hands off my grass. Now my grass, I try to keep it looking really nice, and he walked on my damn grass, and I don't care what nobody say. People getting all in my case about being weird about people walking on my grass. You don't walk on a black man's grass. I'm sorry. We
Exactly.
work too hard to get it, to have it, and then to upkeep it and make it look good. No, don't you put your feet on my grass. Do not. Do not. I just got through. I was just treated with some weed stuff because the guy that cuts it, I think he cut somebody's grass with some weeds in it, and it brought those particles over there, and the things are spawning in my grass.
Mm-hmm.
Out there, man, I am pissed off right now.
Guys, y'all gotta go watch those videos. Pookie has some videos on his thing where he shows the perfect Amazon driver that actually comes up, walks on the sidewalk, sits the package down, and then he's got the terrible Amazon driver that throws the. I mean, he slung the package. If it had been something breakable in there, it would have been broke.
Look, this one was in there. This right here.
Now look, now that Amazon will be giving me some discounts on my definitely on my Prime membership because that's ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
I got this for my baby boy. He's 12 and he won't be fully vaccinated in time to go back to school. So gotta have him protected. So he will have one vaccine, but it won't be. He'll only be 1 week out from having the vax. So he won't have the second dose until mid-September. So I got a couple of these and some good N95 for him. So look, I told my wife keep him at home. Shit, what's going on?
Exactly. Well, you guys, make sure you go and follow Pookie Bear 73. If you're not following them, go and support them. Great content. I always enjoy this content. Now we're going to move on to the lady of the hour that I am upset with myself because I was banned from getting messages on TikTok and I wasn't able to get in touch with her. She reaches out to me yesterday. I thought she forgot about me, honestly. And she reached out to me yesterday. She says, "Hey, am I still on?" And I was like, "Oh my God." So I was like, I asked her, I said, "Well, can you come on today?" And she said, "Yes, I can come on." So I would like to thank Fearless Queen for coming on. Even though I didn't get to promote her like that, I'll just appreciate her for coming on. I'm going to call her Melissa is where we're going by today. Thank you so much. She is Fearless Green on TikTok. If you do not, you see the loveliness there, all that beauty with the makeup and everything. That's what she does on her channel. And she also has been moving over and started talking about some politics and other things. Very interesting content. And I would love for you guys to check this TikTok out that she did that I liked. And it's got some that Southern accent is amazing. You guys check this out.
I hope, if nothing else, conservatives are paying attention to the fact that you were gaslighted by Republicans and said that the vaccines, that Corona wasn't real, that the vaccines were not safe, and they took it the whole time, and now they're blaming y'all for being unvaccinated for being the problem. I'm not going to let y'all skip over that. Thank you.
Let's snap some fingers. Absolutely perfect, spot on. I believe she did that TikTok right after the governor of was it Mississippi? Yeah, Kay Ivey. Alabama came out and blamed the unvaccinated for which they are to blame. but came out and blamed them.
Unvaccinated.
Exactly. And she outlawed mask mandates. She was one of the first states to ban the mask mandates and get out of it. It was a hot boo-boo shit mess that week, honey. And they let her have it. And Melissa was right in on the shenanigans. And I must say, I enjoyed it and I hit the heart on that video.
Thank
So
you.
Melissa, please tell us what brought you to TikTok and tell us your name on TikTok again. She's Fearless Queen on TikTok. Do you have Instagram, Twitter, anything like
I
that?
do. I have Instagram. I don't really do a lot on Twitter. I need to expand to that, but I do have Instagram. I do have Facebook as well. So I am in the coal fields of Southwest Virginia. That is not Southern West Virginia. That's the most common misconception that I get. So I feel like that being in Appalachia, it brings, it's not always easy to bring ourselves into the current state of events. So I understand that for some reason, just the way that I look and the way that I sound, some people will listen to me, and for some whatever reason. But definitely, politics has been, ever since 2015, has been at the heart of who I am. I am the mother. I'm a special needs mom. My middle son has autism spectrum disorder. My oldest son is a registered nurse. Actually, today was his last day in our local hospital's ER, so I have extremely unique views about the COVID vaccine, all of that. We're an area that is full of love. We are full of culture. We are full of amazing things, but we don't always educate ourselves the way that we should, and I hope to help out with that.
Awesome. So glad to have you here. Wonderful content. Again, you guys, make sure you go to TikTok, Instagram, follow Fearless Queen. She's going to be mixing the politics along with the makeup, so you're going to get a double dose of beautifulness and also some great political and
just sass.
Political content and just funny content and some sass and some funniness over there too. So make sure you guys go and follow. Now I will let you guys know that Aaron was supposed to be here, but I think something came up with Aaron. I don't know if anybody's here to watch, but Aaron was advertised to be here today, but unfortunately he had something come up, so was unable to make it. But we're going to make it do what it do with what we got going on right now, and we're going to still have a good old funky time, and we're going to hope that Aaron is okay. And hopefully we can get him to come back to the show at a later date. Now, let's get to the ooey gooey. Let's get to the first topic at hand. I want to go ahead and talk about Simone Biles, because Simone Biles has been the topic of discussion this week. And, you know, for some places have been giving her, you know, have been treating her well. And some places have not been treating her so well. Some people have not been treating her so well. She's been getting a lot of negative backlash for withdrawing from the team at the Summer Olympics. She withdrew ahead of Thursday's all-round final. And, you know, she said at first that it was because of her mental health. And I want you guys to check out this little ditty that I found to basically kind of break down. You're going to get Simone's response to people being critical of her, and you're also going to get why we should leave Simone Biles the hell alone, because she is and will always be the GOAT. So let's check it out. Absolutely. I concur with him. We do need to support Simone Biles. She's given so much to the country to compete, given a lot of herself to do so. We've had a lot of people being critical of her. We had the Texas Deputy Attorney General, Aaron. He called her a national embarrassment in a tweet. Now, much to my surprise, the actual Attorney General, Ken Paxton, actually came out and defended Simone Biles. As we know, Simone Biles is from Texas. And so when this Deputy Attorney General, Aaron, actually called her a national embarrassment, Ken Paxton came and he actually defended her and said, look, she's a national treasure, and she's a true patriot. And, you know, they always use that term anyway, they've diluted the term patriot. I hate to even use it at this point, but I digress. But anyway, he calls her a true patriot and defends her and says that Aaron's comments are not reflective of the office. And then after that, Aaron came back and apologized and said that he was sorry and that he was frustrated, and he made this very inappropriate statement, and his comments don't reflect the office, is what he said. Of course, he wants to backpedal and pussy pop out of it. And then we have today that just came up. Well, this happened last night on Instagram. Michael Shea, How?
Shay, I think. Shay.
Shay, okay, Michael Shay, whoever the hell he is, Shay, Shia, Shay, Pat, whatever. He's on SNL, and so in a series of Instagram tweets, he says, "Well, I'm going to come up with a skit about Simone Biles. I have so much I want to say about Simone Biles." And then he goes on to say that he's going to go to the chamber and he's going to go into his cellar tonight and say them into a microphone, as dorky kids say, he's choosing violence. And then he goes on to make this disgusting comment where he says Larry Nassar understands Simone Biles better than anyone. He too had to quit doing what he loved at the pinnacle of his career because of mounting pressure. And then he goes on to indirectly encourage his followers to insult Simone Biles based on her trauma with Larry Nassar. I think it's a disgusting display, and I'm going to say this: I feel like he should lose his job for it, because I think that was completely ridiculous that he would use her trauma with something like that at that point in her life, she didn't even have to reveal that she was actually violated by Larry Nassar and with all of these other women. She didn't have to reveal that, but she showed complete strength by coming forward and saying what happened to her. And for him to use that against her is completely disgusting. Pookie, I would love to know what you think about this whole thing and this backlash toward Simone Biles.
Well, first let me say, leading up to today, for a moment, I had a lot of questions about what was really going on with her. That's why I kept silent. I didn't say anything about it because I didn't know the whole story. Lots of times people learn something by it. Shut the hell up until you learn the whole story. I knew that it had to be more than just a mental glitch of some type. I knew it had to be something more than just emotional. This morning, the news reported that Simone has revealed that she has what's called twisties.
Yes.
I've heard of twisties before in my life. I thought it was some kind of candy or something. Twisties is a situation that gymnasts have. It's a disconnect in their brain where basically a gymnast, what makes a gymnast good is their ability to know where their feet and their head is at all times. So no matter how many flips he or she is doing, they always know where their feet and their head is and where the ground is. Twisties disconnects that ability where you can't discern where the ground is. So not only is it disorienting, but it's also dangerous, because if she's 10 feet in the air, flipping around like this, and she doesn't know where the ground is, she could land on her head and die. So that wrecks your confidence. So you're not going to do everything like you should. When you look at her last vault, right before she pulled out, you can see it in her eyes. She knew something wasn't right.
Yes.
So it has been documented that she has suffered from twisties before. And it has also been documented that it takes her about a week or two to get over this. And the only way to get over it is a therapy. The therapy basically is them doing their routine into a foam pit. So that restores the confidence. It reconnects the mental and the depth perception to the point where she knows the foam is here. I'm okay. Now we move the foam and go to a hard floor. And it takes her about 2 weeks. They reported that she's been practicing and doing this therapy for the last week or so, trying to get herself back together for the last few events. So with that information, that changes the whole idea of what's going on with her. So if, say, for example, and I like using Tom Brady simply because he is the pinnacle of every white person, high athlete. You know, I love using him in comparison. So if Tom Brady had gotten a position where he's colorblind or something happens where he can't see where to throw the ball, if he needed time to get himself together so he could see where to throw the ball or how to throw the ball, he's going to be granted that time, no questions asked. They're going to say he's the GOAT. He says he needs his time, let him have it. But then the little black girl gets in a situation where she needs this time to get herself together so she can still continue to do these flips and things like this. Then all of a sudden, she's a national embarrassment. She's selfish. She should have did this. She should have did that. My thought, personally, I'm sitting here like this. Half these jokers are saying this stuff can't even get up off the couch without losing depth perception.
That part.
So shut your mouth. Let her do her thing. And If she retired today, she's still the GOAT.
Absolutely.
She's still the GOAT. You jokers pushed Carrie Shrug until she blew her foot out to the point where she couldn't do gymnastics ever again. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're not about to play this game. Now, Michael Che, unfortunately, there are a line of black men out there that love getting kudos from putting down black women. They love it because there's a segment of society that will continue to give them praise for doing that. Now, what he just did is put himself in a position where he's going to get more views, more spotlights on him, and people who he worked for, unfortunately, they like that sort of thing. If you ever watch any of his segments on SNL, he and the other guy on the nightly news, they write jokes for each other and they hand them off. And the jokes are intended to be as offensive as possible. So Michael Che is going to write a very offensive joke about black people and give it to the white guy, and the white guy is going to read it. And then they play this game and they get ratings for it. They get paid for it. So he's paid to be offensive. And I agree with you. I think that should be it. He should find he should find something else to do.
Absolutely. Melissa, I'd love to know if you had any viewpoints on that. As far as Simone Biles is concerned.
Well, I don't have any grounds to speak on. I won't speak on anything that's outside of my wheelhouse. So I will leave the black men talking about black women. That's none of my business. I'm not going to touch that. What I am going to touch is the fact that I'm a childhood sexual abuse and multiple rape survivor, and that I'm an advocate for that. That I sit in court with women who are doing the scariest thing they've ever done in their lives. This past last summer, it's actually been a whole year now, I sat with a 17-year-old and her 11-year-old brother who testified against a family member. And I watched the sitting attorney at the time in our county tell her that she should have testified more like her brother because she cried during her testimony, and he did not.
Wow.
So this is a pervasive issue. It's another leg of misogyny. It is disgusting. And Simone Biles is the epitome of grace and of greatness, of class, of talent. And I agree so much with Pookie that the people that I've heard talking the loudest about this haven't touched their toes since college. They're still wearing their high school football letterman jacket around because they never made it past that place in life. That's still where they peaked. And they have a lot to say. And it only makes it worse because, number one, she's a female and she's an athlete of color. And both of those things just really piss them off. I think that she might be the bravest person competing right now, or to ever compete, because I watched another interview of her and she made it very clear that while, yes, she was doing it to preserve herself, which she should, because mental health is a huge issue in this country, and we don't even address it. We address the symptoms that stem from it: addiction, overeating, obesity, all of these things. We don't ever actually deal with an issue, and that's a problem within our culture, within our country. But she said that she knew she would not be her best to compete, and she did not want to hold her team back. So even in her own suffering, even in her own excellence, even in her own resume, which is profound, immense, and immaculate, her best concern was still for her team. And I think that puts Simone Biles on a level that nobody that's ever spoke out against her ever will. But I'm not going to say anything about Michael Che. I don't enjoy his work. I do find him to be extremely abrasive. I don't find him to be funny, and I don't appreciate the disrespect that he shows to women of color. I just don't.
Correct. I agree. You know, it's this young lady, she's went through a lot. You know, they penalized her for being great. You know, so let's just think about that for a second, to be penalized for being the best. You know, if it had just been because this is a mental thing, the twisties. I was going to play the Instagram story that she posted. This is a mental thing, but it can also hurt her physically. But if it had just been, you know, per se something that was going on just in her mind that she needed to work on, because people are accepting because this is something that would hurt her. Do you think that people would accept it if it was just something mentally versus it being mentally that's something that could hurt her for, while she's performing? Do you think they'd be more, they would, want to backpedal on their words more now that they know that it's something that could hurt her physically?
No, because the people who are saying the most were looking for reasons to say something bad about her.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be just mental, or it could be mental and physical. They were still going to say something bad about her, and they're not going to take into account everything that she's been dealing with moving up to this, with the injuries that she's had, and the sexual abuse, and just the sheer fact of being told that you're too good, so we're going to decrease your points. Why would I risk my life doing these amazing vaults and things if I'm not even going to get the full points for it? Again,
Exactly.
let me go back to Tom Brady. If the NFL said today, Tom Brady's too good, he's only going to get 5 points for every touchdown that he throws, not 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it would be war in the streets. It'd be January 6th all over again.
Exactly. Exactly.
I said the same thing when Kobe died, and we were mourning Kobe, and people were like, damn, it's been 2 weeks. Why don't y'all get over it? I said, if that was Tom Brady in a damn helicopter that died with his daughter, it'd be a national holiday right now. So
Exactly.
don't get enough credit for what we produce and what we give to this country, especially in sports. I did some research today, and if I'm going off topic, please tell me. The number of gold medals won by the U.S. in the Summer Olympics only is about 1,036, give or take. Of that number of gold medals won by the United States in the Summer Olympics, 19% of them have been won by African American athletes, okay, Black athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you consider that we only really highly compete in 3 or 4 main events, we're talking about track and field, boxing, and gymnastics. That's a low number of things we're competing in, but we make up 19% of the damn medals that we've won in this country. Here's why people are upset, because if you take away all the Black medals, the USA ain't so great no more when it comes to Olympics. We ain't the end all, the be all when it comes to athletics, when you take away the Black athletes. So the Olympics has not been very kind to us. You think about Syria Bonali, who they penalized for her she was the same thing it was going on with Simone Biles. She was too great on the ice, so they penalized her. You think about the young lady with the swim caps.
Mm-hmm.
You can't wear that swim cap that's protective of your style of hair. I mean, what is this? What is this? You want our skill. You want what we bring to the table. You want the power that we bring to your team, but you don't want who we are. You don't want what we've gone through. You don't want Biles to be able to be so strong in that 4'11" body that she can twist herself way better than the great Nadia Comaneci. You don't want that. You want her to just be just a little bit under Nadia, so we can give her a gold medal, but not say she's greater than Nadia. That's
that's what it's all about. And it's about the fact that you're exactly right. They know that we are not capable of being the best without her. So they want to have her but it really just all comes back to as a nation, our pride and our ego, that we want to be number one. And we also view athletes, but specifically athletes of color, the way that they are treated, the way that we behave as a nation is like ownership. It's like we expect, and by we I mean the U.S. as a whole nation, but specifically within sports, we want everything from you, but we want to just give you just like just the bare minimum back, just like as little as we could possibly get by with. And then we're constantly readdressing that to see if we can get by with just a little bit less than what we were already giving you. And it all stems back to the fact of inferiority, that it kills them, that they know that they can't be the best without her, but they can't. She is the GOAT. I don't foresee, there's a lot of life left to live, but I'll be surprised if anybody ever unseats her as the GOAT, because she is that incredible. And we have so much work to do on that front.
Yeah. I
She's a
agree.
she's a once in a lifetime athlete.
Oh, amazing.
Absolutely.
And human.
Absolutely.
Like she's an amazing human being. She has survived things that 9 out of 10 of her detractors would still be in the fetal position for. I don't want to hear anything they have to say, to be honest.
Absolutely. And not only that, but the fact that she stayed there and was cheering on her teammates. She really wanted it for them. She was out there putting them little white things down, the little pad things, helping them get their little powder on and all that kind of stuff. I don't know much about that. I don't really watch sports, but I'm just gonna say that's what I saw. So she just seems to be a wonderful human being. It's just a shame that she's been treated like this for once in her life, putting herself first, because that's what she did essentially by saying, no, I cannot do it. I won't do it. And she drew the line, and I am proud of her for doing that. And to me, it doesn't take anything away from her. She's still the GOAT.
And I really hope that this precedent has been set that now it's shined enough light on the inequity that there are huge changes made within the Olympic organization and with everyone involved in it, because this isn't acceptable. We have to do better.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
The Olympics it's not very kind to us. It has never been kind to us. I can remember all the way back to Jesse Owens in the Olympics, in the Summer Olympics in Germany, being penalized for jumping too far, and they had to set up a situation where he jumped 1.5 feet early just so that he could still break a damn world record, because they kept penalizing him for jumping too hard. So it has never been fair to us. It's never been kind to us. And, eventually it's going to change. My wife had a really cool theory. She says, what if all of the best athletes, we're talking about Sha'Carri and Simone and Naomi Osaka, what if they pulled out just to show y'all need us?
Right.
We need them far more than they need us.
Yeah.
Right. That would
we
be
don't bring anything to this table. They're the ones bringing the goods.
Yes. You look at the names that have been marketed in these Olympics. You take them names out. Ooh.
Yeah.
They mentioned the other young lady the white young lady who got suspended for being on steroids. I mean, peeing for steroids because she said she ate something that had it in there, and everybody didn't hear nothing about her. I'm like, 'cause I didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
Who is she? You want me to be in the uproar about somebody else? Who is she? I ain't never seen this girl before a day in my life.
I remember that coming across my feed. I didn't report it.
I'm still mad about Sha'Carri too. That was not okay. Unacceptable. That was not stupid.
They need to definitely change the rules. The Olympics has a lot of growing to do, and I tell you, in this day and age of social media, some shit's gonna have to change, because you can't get away with anything anymore, man. This stuff is being pushed more so to the forefront now. People are boycotting. People are blasting them out on social media. It's getting bad. They're getting what they call it, the cancel culture. It definitely happens. So I can see some changes coming in the next Olympics, and the next Olympics next year.
I hope the power of the purse speaks, because I feel like that people are beginning to realize. And people that look more like me are beginning to realize that the strongest voice we have is with our vote, with who we vote for, both locally, city, state, nationally, but then also the money you spend. There's a reason I avoid going to Walmart.
Absolutely. So we'll switch gears here. We're all praying for Simone Biles. Hopefully she can make it to the games on Sunday. If not, it is what it is. They'll be okay. They still been doing decent without her. So hopefully she can make it. If not, then, it is what it is. Let that girl heal and do what she has to do. Amen. So we'll go ahead and switch gears here to the COVID and what's going on. Man, COVID is going crazy, y'all. I swear, this is going to be an interesting few months here. The Delta variant has came in, and it's came by storm. These people are not getting vaccinated like they're supposed to. And now, me personally, I think we're going to get locked down again. But the difference in getting locked down this time is that there's not going to be any moolah involved. You're going to be all on your own this time. So the total vaccinations that they have given out is 344 million. And there's a total of 164.2 million people in the U.S. that are vaccinated. That's according to the CDC, CDC's website as of today. So people obviously are not getting vaccinated like they're supposed to. I think there's like 60% of the population that is vaccinated, and a lot of these red states are lagging in their vaccinations. They're not getting vaccinated. So the Delta variant, Dr. Fauci told us a few months ago that this Delta variant was going to come through and take us through another storm. So people needed to get vaccinated before then. But of course, people didn't listen, and now we're at this point where they have to start bringing out the mask. So the CDC changed their guidelines this week and recommended, not mandated, they recommended that people wear masks indoors, and they recommended that you still social distance and wear masks in places where there is heavily traveled. Like if you go into the grocery store or whatever, just wear your mask. They also recommended masks for school for K through 12 students. They also reminded that even if you are vaccinated, I forgot to let you know that. So even if you are vaccinated, you're still recommended to wear a mask. Well, this has caused a freaking firestorm within the political parties here. The Democrats and Republicans, they pissed the hell off. The Republicans are pissed and they don't want to wear a mask, and the Democrats are pissed the hell off because the Republicans don't want to wear masks. They're not taking it seriously at all. A lot of states like Texas, Arkansas, South Carolina, and Arizona are now instituting fines where if these government entities other than hospitals try to mandate that you wear a mask, and the schools, if you try to enforce a mask mandate, they are going to institute a fine. And Greg Abbott actually signed, that's Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed an executive order on Thursday saying that he will fine people up to $1,000 for enforcing a mask mandate.
How much longer does he have? Can he not go to the House yet? I'm so tired of his ass. I can't stand.
I'm so sick of him. I'm sick of his ass, and Applehead is getting on my nerves. President Biden on Thursday called on the states and local governments to use funds from the American Rescue Plan to offer $100 payments to individuals in order to incentivize the COVID vaccinations. A lot of these, like Mitch McConnell, he actually is endorsing the vaccine now all of a sudden. But even though they're doing that, the House of Representatives is having problems with members of Congress like Lauren Bobblehead, Musty Marjorie, Fred Cruz, which he's not in the House of Representatives, Meathead Matty, all of them are not wanting to wear masks. So I want to show you guys what's happened at the House of Representatives on yesterday when they found out that they had to wear that the House physician actually instituted another mask mandate.
A symbol of open revolt, Republicans in the House of Representatives today staging a symbolic mask-free walk to the Senate, where masks are not required. They're battling a new rule saying House members have to wear masks inside chambers. GOP Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted her own video of the protest. In her video, she writes on Twitter, quote, "crossing back into Speaker Maskhole's land of COVID," referring to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. That was just one display.
This institution is a sham, and we should adjourn and shut this place down.
Texas Republican Congressman Chip Roy led an unsuccessful vote to shut down the House over the new mask rules.
We have a crisis at our border, and we're playing footsie with mask mandates in the people's house. You all put masks up front here. Which is it? Vaccines or masks? Do the vaccines work or they don't work? Do the masks work or they don't work?
Congressman, do you plan to continue?
House Republicans also held a tense meeting with the House attending physician, Dr. Brian Monahan. Sources in the room telling CNN they grilled Monahan on whether he was pressured by Democratic leaders to institute the mask rule. Monahan insisted he wasn't pressured, the sources say. Still, the debate over the CDC's new guidelines for mask wearing across the country has not only gotten political in Washington, it's gotten personal. That's Speaker Pelosi saying, quote, he's such a moron, slamming the GOP Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy for his tweet saying new calls for mask wearing are, quote, not a decision based on science. McCarthy fired back at Pelosi, accusing her of politicizing medicine and of outright hypocrisy.
Just today I watched her in a private meeting, not wearing a mask.
On the first day of the new mask requirement for the House, at least 24 Republicans seen openly defying it, including Congresswoman Lauren Boebert.
We know science is real.
A witness tells CNN Boebert threw a mask. Boebert's office says she simply slid the mask back across a table. One analyst says while politicians like Lauren Boebert may not be household names across the country, their resistance to mask wearing can have a real impact.
I just can't stand Lauren Bobblehead. She makes me sick.
She's
But
Sarah
they're
Palin
all,
2.0. She's Sarah
oh
Palin
yeah,
2.0.
they all are now blaming Nancy Pelosi for the mask mandate, even though she didn't institute the mask mandate. The House physician did. They actually had a meeting with him and was trying to get him to explain why he has the mask mandate, even though it's explained in the bulletin. They're blaming Nancy Pelosi for the January 6th insurrection. Nancy Pelosi is being blamed for everything at this point. I don't know what the hell they're going to do, but they're definitely not setting a good example for people. And I really want to know, Pookie, you look like you're seething over there. What you got for me? Playa.
Oh my God. I'm over this. I'm so over this simply because how many more people have to die? How many people have to go into the grave? I have friends that we've lost over the last year from this thing. Very healthy, robust people who caught COVID because one, they didn't realize how dangerous it was. And two, this thing is real. Last night, Chicago opened Lollapalooza with over 100,000 people in Grant Park. If you Google Lollapalooza Chicago and look at some of the photos, it is a nightmare how many people were down there. And it's to the point that not only is misinformation meeting people who are fed up with being locked in, it's the fact that these people don't get it. This thing is real. I don't care what nobody says about where it was cooked up or how it got here. It's here. I don't care if it came out of a lab or out of a baboon ass. It's here.
Exactly.
We got to deal with it. I don't care if it's biological warfare or if it's natural. It's here. And if I got to wear a mask, my whole family, except for my baby boy, is vaccinated. The only reason he's not vaccinated is because he's not 12 yet. And he'll be 12 a week before school starts. And I'm seriously thinking about keeping him home until he's fully vaccinated. But all of this misinformation has to stop. All of this bullcrap. And I'd like to speak about the misinformation within the Black community, if I may.
Please do.
Part of it comes from our grandparents who remember the Tuskegee experiments. Exactly. And they're saying, oh, no, don't let the government put nothing in your body and all this kind of stuff. That's part of it. But the other part of it comes from these damn hoteps that looked at one Dr. Sebi video and decided, oh, all I got to do is eat some Bodoc root and drink some elderberry juice and I can get rid of COVID.
Speak on it, Pookie.
That ain't how this work, bro. You ain't gonna go in your yard and get no roots out your yard and deal with something, especially if it's man-made and it's a chemical warfare. Them roots ain't gonna make it. Them roots are not gonna do it. You better deal with this thing face front head on. If you don't want to get the vaccine, then wear the mask. If you don't want to wear the mask, then stay your ass away from us because we want to live. I want my children, I want my mother to live, I want my family to live. And if you running around here going to parties and concerts and turning up and you're not masking up and you're not getting the damn vaccine and you carrying this Delta variant around with you, all I got to say is stay your ass over there. And when you can't breathe, this motherfucker choke you off and you can't breathe, don't come calling us. I don't need my sister who's an RN risking her life to save you when you could have prevented this thing months ago by just getting the vaccine or taking the damn mask. Oh, man. Whew. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. And then when they're on their deathbeds, they apparently reports are coming out that they're begging to be vaccinated. Hell,
Right.
it's too late now. We can't. Yeah, it's too late now. You know, you're done. You got this radio host that I talked about last week. I wanted to give you all an update. His name is Phil Valentine. That made a song Vax Man and all this stuff. He's against vaccines. Well, guess what? His ass got COVID and he's on life support right now. You know, so yeah. So I mean, this is the kind of stuff that happens. Melissa, I would love to know what's your take on vaccines? Are you vaccinated? Do you plan on getting vaccinated?
Oh, I've been fully vaccinated since April. I have lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. I had COVID twice over Christmas and the first part of January because we couldn't get vaccines. Period. We couldn't get them here. But our state senator died of COVID, and he was one of the ones that led the march to the Capitol over a mask mandate, and we've still learned nothing.
I love that pause.
In Appalachia, I lay this failure directly at the feet of Republicans and the evangelical church, and I'll tell you why. Because I was raised in a cult of a fundamentalist nature, and they are still preaching in their churches that COVID is a lie, not to wear a mask. I've got Greg freaking Locke over there telling people he's going to ask them to leave. Well, number one, if you're still going to his church, may the Lord be with you because you will need him. But I lay it there. Like, we don't freaking learn. And here's the thing that really bothers me. I get angry because my son's a registered nurse, my oldest one, which we live in the same town, and I didn't see him for 3 months between when I had COVID and when I got vaccinated because he was scared to death he would kill me. But here's the thing that I know that a lot of Americans don't realize, and we need to. We are about to see some really, really bad times. We have not learned. We have not listened. We have not done better. We do not have the PPE. We do not have the staff to staff this. Nurses are quitting in droves because they realized really quickly that administrations gave nary a crap about their lives. They put them in situations they should have never been put in. We've got ICUs being run into ERs with non-pressure regulated rooms. It is disgusting the way that we have put people in. Our personal hospital here, and we only have one. We're a tiny, tiny town. The town I live in is 4,500. Was on divert for like 6 weeks. They were taking no new patients, no beds. Arkansas is already in that shape.
Yeah.
We had a stockpile somewhat to begin with COVID. We're starting with nothing here. It's about to be a really bad time, and it's about to be a time when people will go to hospitals and there will be nothing. They will say, go home, we can't help you.
Absolutely.
And we've tried to teach them, we've tried to tell them, but the evangelical church is still preaching every single Sunday, Wednesday, and I'm sure it's in their newsletter.
Absolutely.
I lay this at their feet.
Absolutely. 100%. You know, it's a shame because they're wondering, oh, well, I thought you said that if we got vaccinated, then it was we would be okay, you know. Well, dumbass, you didn't get vaccinated. The people didn't get vaccinated. We don't have enough. Yes.
A paper mask. That's what it takes to level you, Frank.
Exactly.
You were trash from the beginning. Stop it.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
And
you know,
I never said that the vaccine was going to keep you from getting COVID. They said the vaccine would keep you from suffering from severe illness and hospitalization. They said with the vaccine you can still pass COVID around. But these are the people who didn't listen to that. When we were trying to talk about this when things first came out, trying to educate people on, oh, you're just a puppet for the government. No, I'm trying to tell you the truth about this damn vaccine that you didn't listen to. Now all of a sudden, well, make it make sense. How are people still getting COVID with the vaccine? Because you didn't listen in the beginning.
Right.
Why you got me
I'll tell you this, that
mad as hell.
I'll tell you this, that there was some slides. There's this slideshow that leaked today. I don't know if you all heard about it, but it's from the CDC. And in this slideshow, they said that the Delta variant, now this is from the CDC, and it has been confirmed that this is from the CDC, that the Delta variant is more transmissible than Ebola, the common cold, seasonal flu, smallpox, Delta variant is as transmissible as chicken pox.
I heard it was
It's,
1,000 times more permissible than COVID-19, or
yes,
transmissible, sorry, than
yes.
COVID-19.
Yes, that was leaked today in this CDC slideshow that they were playing, that they're supposed to play at a meeting or something like that, and it was confirmed that that is true. You know, I feel like you, Pookie, like shit. Do I need to put something on now? I mean, it's it's crazy. It is crazy the way it is, and people just don't want to listen. And then you have members of Congress that stand up there in their suits or whatever, don't have, like someone just put it in the comments. I believe it was Millertown. She said she is curious on where the GOP members went to medical school or became experts in virology, infectious disease. None of them have. None of them have. So I would really love to know. You know, you have what, Brad Paul, I believe, that is a ophthalmologist that wants to pretend that he is an infectious disease specialist, and he specializes in gain of function. You have him that wants to do that, but none of all the rest of them, they're lawyers. You know, you're talking about an infectious disease with someone that studied whether you could cease and desist someone. It doesn't make any sense. You know, it makes absolutely no sense. You all, I would love for you all to put your questions in the comments if you have any questions for us before we end. We have a little bit of time left, and we'll just briefly discuss, since we have a little bit of time left, we'll just talk about the infrastructure deal. Oh, no, we won't. Let me play y'all this clip of Freddie Cruz, what he had to say on the House floor, on the Senate floor yesterday after the House of Representatives did this performative ass charade where they came maskless and walked over to the Senate floor. This is part of it. It's only a few seconds.
Did vaccines not work? Did science not operate? No, it was obvious then, and it was obvious on the day that the oracle of the CDC spoke, that vaccines work, which is why every Democrat took their masks off. But fast forward to this week. The CDC issues a new proclamation. Apparently, according to the CDC, vaccines don't work anymore. That science thing, inoperative. We got more important things to worry about, like politics. As an aside, Mr. President, has there ever been an institution in American public life that has more discredited itself more rapidly than the CDC?
Members of the CDC are not elected officials. I don't understand. They are merely in their positions on merit. I don't understand. I don't, you guys, that bothers me so much that they are able to stand on the House and the Senate floors and just lie without conscience. That should be against the law for them to do that.
It's misinformation from the highest
yes,
level. Absolutely. And what's always completely bumfuzzled me? The fact that they get all worked up about a mask. I don't know what part of unprecedented was unclear to them, but that means it changes as we go with what we know at the time. Put on the damn mask and shut up your whining. I don't want to hear about it. Save it for your mommy. We don't care.
And keep encouraging these people to get vaccinated that can get vaccinated.
Well,
that's
all we be counted on to do the wrong
these
thing.
People, you know, it's just ridiculous. Pookie, we have a question for you from the audience.
Okay. Hold on, I gotta
put your glasses on. Trying to take
okay.
First, okay.
Is the murder rate in Chicago related to the lockdown? Is that the question?
Yes.
No, it's not. One of the things I need people to understand about Chicago and the murder rate here is that, one, Chicago is not as bad as the media is making it seem. Two, I've done videos on this before. All of this killing in Chicago is systematic. And the reason it's systematic is because there's some very valuable neighborhoods in this city that the city planners want back. If you look at the murders that are happening in these neighborhoods and compare them to a map of the city of Chicago, you will see that these are some very valuable neighborhoods that the city planners want. And it's all a part of a gentrification program of devaluing the property so that developers can buy it at a dime on the dollar and then redevelop it into some high cost homes and things like that. I can literally right now ride you through a neighborhood in Chicago that was taken over by a railroad. Norfolk Southern Railroad took over a whole neighborhood through eminent domain. And basically the police just abandoned the area, and then they allowed guns to flow in that area. Then murder rates started happening. People started moving out. Norfolk Southern started buying up the property. Next thing you know, they took a whole neighborhood to create a rail yard. This started back in the 90s. I could take you to the area where the Obama Museum is getting ready to go up. Same situation. That area was at one time nice, then it started going down. Everybody's hearing about how bad Inglewood is. Well, Inglewood was bad, and it still is bad. But right now, why is it such a hot spot for development? They put a Whole Foods in Inglewood. Who is that Whole Foods for? It ain't for the black folk that live there, because we ain't buying that kind of stuff. We ain't giving out a paycheck for no Whole Food. That's for the people who's coming next. People that's getting run up out of there. That's not for them. So when you start talking about the murder rate in Chicago, it is tied directly to the fact that certain areas have been abandoned by policing so that the property value will go down. And not only that, that same railroad I told you guys about, every spring and fall, every now and then, one of the rail cars gets hit. And people jump in there and rob stuff off the cars. You know what they're robbing off those cars? Crates of guns. Now, you tell me in a rail yard with over 500 freight cars sitting in it, how are these kids knowing which cart has the guns in them? And they rob the crate of guns. Those guns hit the streets. Police abandon the neighborhoods. Boom, boom, boom. You got dead kids. Yesterday, literally yesterday, a guy got shot right in front of the building where my other business is. I was pulling up. They were carting him away. You know why he got shot? Because he got into a beef with somebody at a gas station about who had to pump first. And they followed him to the place and shot him right there in his car.
Wow.
Ain't got nothing to do with COVID. It has everything to do with a systematic form of oppression that puts us in a position where we're desperate and we're got our backs against the wall. We're lacking education. We're lacking opportunities. We're lacking food resources. We're eating garbage every day because there's no vegetables. There's no produce markets in these areas. And then the next thing you know, you put a gun in my hand. You take opportunity out of my hand. You take education out of my hand. Then you tell me that I got to live on $2 a week. Somebody else.
Yeah. You know, when he started speaking about that, it reminded me of New Orleans. It reminded me of Hurricane Katrina. How before Hurricane Katrina, they wanted to get rid of the Magnolia. I was talking to a friend of mine who's here, Carol, about this last night. How they wanted to get rid of the Magnolia and the Callio projects, but they couldn't do it. It was too many people living there. So when the Hurricane Katrina came, at that time, they ended up getting flooded. Now look, these buildings were built back in the day, so you know they were built really, really good. Those buildings were still able to be occupied. They could have moved those, let those people come back and get back in those buildings and use that money that they got from for the hurricane from FEMA to fix those buildings up and let those people move back in. You know what they did? They been wanted to get rid of them, so they got rid of them. They tore them down, the projects, tore them down and built what they called mixed income complexes, where in one building you can have Shirley with her 3 children and she's paying $500 a month for rent and getting welfare. And then on the next section, you're going to have Martha, who makes $150,000 a year working for Chase Bank. You know, this is supposed to cohabitate together. You know what it is now? A fully, area of middle income people. That's what they wanted to do in the first place. So that what Pookie's talking about just reminded me of that, and also it refreshed me because I was talking about that last night. I have one question for Melissa, and we're gonna wrap it up, you all, because we're running out of time. Melissa, I have a question for you.
Okay.
It's so crazy out here nowadays, but a leader, not a follower. This is how the game goes. January 6th. Now, what? Boy, I thought that was a question. I'm sorry, I didn't read it. I don't know what he was trying to say there. Big Rob, that was kind of rude. I don't know what you're trying to say, but I'm kind of upset by that.
It's okay. I taught teenagers. It's fine.
I don't know what that was about. That kind of pissed me off that I put it on the screen. Don't try that again. What did you say? But how the world black baby, I'm about to get you up out of here because you done pissed me off. I'm finna block you. Yeah, you out of here.
Like,
Look,
I
I never hey, players who usually come. We've never had a troll before. Congratulations, I've made it. I got a troll on my YouTube.
But I did want to say just one thing about Pookie because or elaborate a little bit more on what he was saying. I just learned this. I'm in Appalachia. I'm learning as I'm going. We don't have a lot of diversity here. I've taken a lot of initiative to educate myself and to just listen, to learn, not to reply, just to listen. But I have been listening to some podcasts and they were talking about how, and I honestly had no clue because it didn't affect me. And I just didn't even know that it existed, that in inner cities that they would purposely not plant trees in the most rural and diverse areas. They would put all asphalt. So it would be so hot and no one could stand it. And they would want to leave and go other places. And if anyone is watching who looks a little bit more like me, who maybe didn't know that either, I just want to challenge you to educate yourself because there's a lot of this when we talk about systemic racism. This is part of that. And it is absolutely our job to educate ourselves, not the job of the BIPOC community to educate us.
I love it. I love it. We got a beautiful comment. Let's put it on the screen. I'm all emotional today. Oh. This show was a success. Everybody loves you guys. Y'all got to come back now. Y'all gonna couple up and come back. You guys, this has been a wonderful show. Very informative. We had a great time. Pookie, you know, you the shit, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. That brought some really good information today. Melissa, you the shit too. Y'all are great. This has been a great show. I really appreciate y'all coming on. And
I'm
players,
to be here. I'm just
I'm so excited that y'all came. What you raising your hand for, Pookie? What you got to say?
I want to deliver a message from one husband to another. Very deliberate message from me, a husband in my household, to the husband in your household.
Oh Lord, should I go get him?
Sure, absolutely, if you feel like it.
Oh Lord, let me see if he'll come in. He might not. I think he's asleep. What you want to say? I'll show it to him later.
Just tell him that this husband in his household go through the same thing he go through. But go ahead, brother, keep getting your feel on. You're gonna be all right. Keep on reaching over there. You're gonna be all right.
Look, I get sick of him, and I got in trouble for that video on TikTok. I said, Lord have mercy. I said I can't do nothing no more. Lord have mercy. You guys, this has been a wonderful show. If you enjoyed the show, you know this is the part of the show where I will be begging. So make sure you guys, if you would like to support my broadcast, y'all know that I like to tip my my guests and let them know that I appreciate them. So if you can, please send a little tip to my Cash App or my Venmo so I can tip my guests for coming and spending time with me. Look, I don't tell people that I tip them. I really want you guys to come and because y'all love me and y'all want to spend time with me, not because you think you're getting paid. So I will be sending you guys a tip when it's over with so y'all can text me y'all Cash App or Venmos just so I can do that. People send me tips. It's not my money. They didn't. For the most part, people will send me tips, and I will share them with you all if I get any tips. So you all, if you can, please support my show. And also, I really would like to get a better mic. So if you guys can help me out and tip me, that would be great. You guys, I really appreciate y'all for coming on. Do y'all have any last words before we go?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much. This has been a great.
I'm going to come follow your page.
Please do. And make sure y'all come back to the show because I'm going to be bugging y'all to come back to the show because this has been a great time and I really appreciate y'all coming and sharing the knowledge with me. It's been great and it flowed really well. Hey, we fit good in together. I like this. I ain't gonna lie. I really like this. I'm gonna be bugging the hell out of y'all at least once a month. I ain't lying.
I'll be here anytime you need me, baby. Sign me up.
Well, thank y'all so much for coming, players. Next week, please come back and join us. I cannot remember who my guest is for next week, but I know I got a very good guest. So make sure y'all join me next Friday where we will be discussing some more political tea and having a good old funky time. Thank y'all for joining us and y'all have a precious evening. Thank y'all. What you got in that cup, Pookie, before we go?
It was just water. It's too early for day drinking.
Oh, okay. I'll see you later. Bye.
All right,